Now, we've been told to have a pretty feed, to hack the algorithm by commenting and following back and posting every single day. Well, if that's you, my friend, I'm here to tell you that this episode will talk to you about what's no longer working in video and what you should do instead if you want to make short videos that go viral and can explode your business. All right, everyone. I'm so excited for this episode of the Small Business PR Podcast. If you have ever thought about how you can go viral with your videos, or maybe you don't feel comfortable on video and you're an introvert, this episode, my friends, is for you. So today we have the one and only Spiffy Darko, content creator, multi-passionate entrepreneur on the show. Welcome, Spiffy.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here. Excited.
Now, the reason why I had you on here, because let's be honest, there are so many video gurus, marketing gurus, content gurus in the sea of Instagram, right? But I wanted to have you on here because not only do you come from a diverse background, you kind of just accidentally created videos and hacked your own algorithm. So you don't just preach what everyone's preaching. You're not spitting out the same content. So I want to hear from your experience. Let's get right into it. What are some of the things that you're hearing from like the other gurus, like do this every day, that actually you're finding out is not working anymore?
Yeah, I think the number one thing that I hear from gurus all the time is post every day. Post every day, keep posting, 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 posting. Personally, from experience, I don't think that is the number one solution. I would rather someone document their process or be more concerned about creating, good content rather than just throwing stuff up there every day, because you want to put your best foot forward at all times. So I personally would stay away from posting every day.
Okay, so that's good. That's like less work for me, right? So what's another thing that you hear out on the interwebs that you're like, not really working anymore?
I think the whole feed thing for Instagram specifically, I think the whole like colorful feed, like looking a certain, like having a certain aesthetic and stuff like that isn't the biggest thing anymore. That was big in 2017 for sure. Now in 2022, it's like people will be more likely to click on a video of your face in mid-word than something that has like a pretty like cover with an image and text and title, because it's more authentic. Like, I want to see what you had to say. I want to see what you were saying. It looks like you're saying something good, so I'm gonna click on it. So I would definitely say that's another big one, is don't worry about having such a pretty grid. Just get your stuff up there for sure.
Okay, so all the kind of agencies that are like, oh, I'll make a pretty banner for you, pretty cover for you. You're saying that if I'm putting a video on Instagram or TikTok, don't put a cover, like just literally have it be a still from like a frame from the video.
Yeah, I would say that that's more likely to get clicked on than something with a cover, unless you had like a series, like kind of similar to YouTube, where, you're posting, part one, part two, part three, then you can put a cover on it and put the title or whatever it is. But if you're just trying to get content out there and you're trying to get people to click on the content and not feel like they're going to be watching something that's going to create more work for them, or something that's super, super informational and not going to be entertaining to them, they're not going to click on it. So I would definitely just go ahead and just get it up. Don't worry about having such a pretty grid and a pretty cover on each video.
Yeah, I had someone in my starter pack community say that like every time you open Instagram, instead of scrolling, create a piece of content first. That'll help
Mm.
you allocate your time more efficiently. And it's so funny that we're going through this because this is the actual pitch that we wrote together for you. And so what is kind of the third thing that you want people to just back away from, because they're hearing all this advice and you're thinking it's not so true anymore?
Yeah. So the third thing I'd say, the biggest thing. So one of the biggest gurus in all of this social media game was Gary Vee, right? Gary Vee was the guy that was telling everybody what to do every day. Like, one of his biggest methods were commenting on other people's posts just so that your name appeared at the bottom of, another brand that's similar to yours, and et cetera, et cetera. I don't think that's a big thing. I almost want to say I know that isn't a big thing anymore. I would rather someone, rather than spending time commenting on a random page's post, comment on one of your followers' posts. Like, comment on someone that's engaging with your stuff. That way, it's like you kind of build like this virtual relationship with them, where it's like you commented on their story, you commented on the shirt they had on in their story, you commented on where they were in the story. Now they feel like you're paying attention to them, so they'll be more likely to pay attention to you when you actually post. And then another thing with that is Instagram, what it does with the algorithm is it puts out content from profiles that it feels you are that you think highly of, or that you find very important, or someone that you engage with a lot. So the more you actually take time to engage with people that might be engaging with you, your stuff's going to start popping up on their feed, right? Your story is going to pop up at the top banner of their Instagram page. So definitely take the time and just harp on the people that are already involved with what you got going on, rather than going and commenting on Pepsi's Instagram account. It's not going to do you as good.
Right, right. Because a lot of people are like, oh, well, if I comment on this person's and it'll be more seen, but you're saying it's really not that way around. It's really knowing your audience first, right? And then
100%, work more internally, then kind of gradually get out there. So that's one big thing for sure.
so, I was looking at your content and you are so full of life, right? You have an entertainment agency, you're all about having a good time. So, can you talk to me a little bit about what kind of videos that you found, like just in your own journey, did well and what didn't do so well that you thought maybe would do well?
Honestly, it's weird because it's always tends to be the video that you didn't think was going to be the biggest. It's like the one you kind of just threw out there and was like, I might get rid of this at some point. Those are the ones that do really well. And it's because, one, you didn't think too much about it, right? You were kind of just posting it out there, getting it out there. Two, you weren't trying too hard. It was like, hey, this is a video that I kind of like. I'm going to put it out there and see what happens. And to couple with that, so the videos that I think got the most engagement and the most views are the videos that, one, obviously were very entertaining, right? They made you laugh, or they gave you life, or they made you feel good. And in addition to it being entertaining, I'd say, being able to give the viewer an experience. So one thing when I actually do create videos is I put myself in the seat of the person that's going to be watching the video. And I think like, okay, what are some things they might want to see? What's going to trigger them, and et cetera, et cetera. So put yourself in the shoes of the viewer and give them an experience. Make them feel like they're in front of you. Make them feel like they're dancing with you. Make them feel like they're laughing with you, like you're right there with them, almost like they're there in real time. So that's one another big aspect of it. And then just evoking emotion, like I kind of said before, like making them laugh. You might make them sad, you might make them happy, whatever it is. If you evoke their emotion within the video, they'll remember that video forever. So I like to call those the kind of the three E's: emotion, experience, and entertainment. Those are three things that will make your video. I'm not going to promise anyone's video is going to go viral, but it will make it very, very engaging for sure, to somebody.
So, you're in the PR Starter Pack, and a lot of the PR Starter Pack members are actually like female founders. They create like wellness products or actual physical products. So, like, let's just make an example, right? Let's say I am a founder and I make like an anti-eczema body butter. So, what advice do you have for me following your three E's, the type of videos I should make? Because to me, dancing isn't just not natural for me, especially when I'm selling a skincare thing. So, what kind of advice do you have
Right.
for people like that?
Yeah, no, definitely. That's a great point. So, one, I think obviously you have your product, right? You have your butter, but since you are a small business owner, the second product, or I almost want to say the first product, is yourself, right? You're selling your product, but you're also selling yourself. So people are buying into your product because they like you. Your product might be great, but if someone can't connect with you and they don't feel like they have a relationship with you, they're probably not going to buy your product. So that's the biggest thing why I say to put out videos, because it's going to be you. It's going to be you talking. You're going to be authentic. It's going to be original self out there, and they're going to buy into you, whether you're selling butter, socks, laptop covers, anything. If people really like you, they will buy into your product. So that's one big thing. And so it's not all about dancing on video, and being hilarious. That's great, and it'd be nice if you could add that to it, but just being out there, just hitting record and posting content of you, that will definitely help propel whatever product it is that you're selling.
So do you have an example? Because a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know what to film throughout my day. So do you have like example, if I make a body butter, when I should turn on the camera?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, one, turn on the camera as much as you can, with whatever it is that you're doing, whether it has to relate to your butter or not, just hit record. But for me personally, being a consumer and putting myself in someone else's shoes that's going to be looking at your content, I want to know how you create the butter. I want to know how you even thought about the process of having butter, or what, I want to learn that stuff that's kind of behind the scenes. That'll make me more likely to buy the butter because you explained it to me. I saw the process, the passion behind it. That will, propel your actual product itself. So yeah, if that means that you're making the butter and you're going to document yourself making the butter, and you'll do like a long time lapse of you actually creating it and authentically in your apartment by yourself, whatever it is, like that will help build that connection and you know, increase sales at the end of the day. That's everyone's goal. So yeah, that's what I would say.
So definitely a little BTS is good behind the scenes.
BTS is always good for sure. BTS is always good. It just allows people to connect with you a lot more. It kind of opens the door. And obviously, people, you have your private life and stuff like that, which you don't want to put out there a ton, but it'll trigger some people and get some people to connect with you when they see that you have the same color refrigerator as them, or you use the same iPhone cover, whatever it is, you know. So definitely just document everything you can.
So document and just put it out there. What's another way to make your video go viral? Because I heard that we have, an attention span of a goldfish. So how can we
Definitely.
capture people?
And that's a big thing. So I did talk about those 3 E's in a video. One big thing to go with that is you don't have to have those 3 E's throughout the entire video. You know, like kind of think about like our favorite song, right? We all have a favorite song where there's probably one hook or one line in it that we just really connect with, that we really love, to the point where we might rewind the song and play it again just to hear that one line. Kind of treat your video the same way. Like just have at least one segment that's just like, boom, this is connecting with my viewer. This is very funny. This is very touching, whatever it is. Have that one segment that's like very, very captivating. You don't necessarily have to worry about having a long video that's, you know, extending all 3 of the E's at all times. Just kind of have that one thing, because that's all everyone's kind of paying attention to, is that one segment. So that's kind of what I would say for the content.
Tell us about obviously you told us about 3 E's. And then can you give us an example of like a video that you did that did really well using the 3 E's that wasn't so obvious?
Yeah, yeah. Which one should I even choose? So I had well, I'll start with one. So I actually created a Christmas video. I had a Christmas event happening not last year, in 2019, which everyone still thinks is last year because of COVID, kind of flew by. But so in 2019, I had a Christmas event happening, and I wanted to do a quick short promo. And so I put on a Christmas hat. I put on a robe, kind of looked like Santa, and I walked across screen, and I was like very, very close to the screen. And I think because I was very, very close to the screen, mind you, this is also a video that I was like, I might delete later. Because I was very, very close to the screen, it captured people's attention very quickly, right? It's just like, boom, oh, he's there. And I did a little dance in the video, which was the entertaining part. People kind of got to laugh, and you know, in entertainment and emotion, people got to laugh and see the dance. And at the end of the video, I did a short promo for the event. So once the event actually happened, a lot of people were referring to that video, and the video was 10 seconds, 12 seconds long, and it ended up doing, 150K views. But people were still referencing that video as promo, and it had all 3 of those E's, and it was quick and it was to the point. And yeah, that's definitely one that I would say I didn't expect was gonna pop the way it did, and ended up popping. So yeah, that's one example for that.
Yeah, because a lot of times we think there's so much that goes into video. You have to script it, you have to time it. And you're saying some of the best videos that you had go viral were the ones you just filmed off the cuff that you had little preparation for.
Yeah, and I don't even think I put an edit on that. I just posted it as it was. And it ended up being one of my best videos.
So, what about like using popular music, voiceovers, pop music? Is that going to help you? Or is that like, oh, here's another video with the same music?
Yeah, I won't say it'll necessarily ever hurt you to do. I think you kind of, if it's not the best one within that music. So you know how on Instagram or TikTok, you can click on the actual sound and you see all the videos that appear under the sound. Like if you're not appearing at the top of that sound, you might as well just use a different sound, or might as well not have a sound, because it's not just gonna randomly show up on someone's feed. It's not just randomly gonna show up under that sound. So I wouldn't worry too much about, trying to use specific sounds or trying to do specific trends. I think that works really well when you do already have a good base, like a good following of people that engage with all your content. Then it's like, all right, let me start to do these trends that they're seeing on other pages, because now they can just see that on mine and stay on my page and see all the same trends and engage with the same type of content. But right now, like for people that haven't started video or anything like that, just document. Even if you don't use the videos now, like document and just put them up, just post them. Don't worry about trends and all that extra stuff. You just want to show up right now, show up authentically, be yourself, and it'll take you a long way for sure.
So you said like even 10 seconds video works. Like, do you recommend, let's say, we're entering into a new year and I want to have a new content strategy. So how would you tell me to kind of implement that? Like, are there like 4 different themes? Are there like short videos long? Like, how do I start to think about my content for the new year?
Yeah, I would definitely say, unless you're posting the video on YouTube, I would stay away from a video over 1 minute long, just because everyone has such a short attention span now. I found that the sweet spot for video has been like 30 to 40 seconds has been the sweet spot. But honestly, the shorter, the better. The quicker you can get whatever your agenda is across in that video, the better. Like I kind of gave you guys the example before, that 10-second video was everything. And I could have done the same type of video and it could have been a minute long and it probably wouldn't have came across as well, just because it wasn't as quick. So having a short video, the other big thing about that is people will rewatch it over and over and over again because it's so short. It's like I can just digest this over and over. So you definitely want to try to keep your content as short as possible. That's the big thing in 2022 for sure. And then the second thing I'd say is start posting vertical videos. So like a lot, usually, right, you take a camera and it's a horizontal video, and we're used to that because of TVs back in the day, right? They're horizontal. YouTube, the videos are horizontal. The biggest thing with vertical video right now and why it's so big right now is because when you're watching it on your phone, it covers your entire screen. So it feels like you're there. It's like, wow, I'm here, like I'm watching the person in real time. So start taking vertical video, or just be ready to crop your video into a vertical setting. So if you do take a horizontal video, take it a little further back, that way you can repurpose it on YouTube or whatever else it is. Take it a little further back and be ready to crop it vertical so that you can give people that experience that they're actually there. Then you could take it on the YouTube and post it, horizontally. But YouTube is also implementing vertical videos now too. And a big percentage of YouTube's viewers are on mobile. I want to say, don't quote me on it, but I want to say it's about 70% right now versus 25% in 2012. So that's becoming a big thing, is like posting vertical videos. It even works on YouTube. You click on a YouTube video and it's vertical, it'll show up fully on your phone. And so with most people being mobile right now, it's like, why not? So definitely vertical videos, keep them as short as possible, and just entertain people. Just entertain people.
Yeah, I love it. I love to keep it short because, for my Starter Pack members, I had a VIP call with a journalist, and she literally was like, my first day working at Forbes, my editor told me like, like with any kind of writing that you do, like you can delete the first sentence. So, it's like whatever like intro that you want to give, like just even if you delete the first sentence, like it's probably still going to be fine. So let's just all get into the rhythm of like, let's just keep cutting it shorter and shorter and shorter, right? So another question that I have is, a lot of people, obviously we're in the business of selling whatever product or service, and it feels very unnatural to them to make a video while promoting. So what is the balance? Like, can you just get into it and say, hey, I have this event, or hey, buy my body butter? Or should we kind of trick the audience and dance, but then put like a flash, like a banner? Is it like, what is the right way to sell? Because we all know that we are using video to sell more and more these days.
Yeah, great question. I actually love that. And so for me, I kind of got right into selling as soon as I put my personal brand out there. It was like, I have my personal brand. This is what I'm trying to do. This is what I'm trying to give off. And that was that. And that's just because that's just how I am. I'm cool with that. Most people are in the boat that you just said. They're not used to selling. They want to feel like they're pushing their agenda on someone, which is absolutely understandable. But the biggest thing with all of this is, you have a product or service, not for yourself, right? You have it because you're trying to help somebody with your product or service. You're trying to fill some type of void. You have something great for them, right? So once you switch your mindset from selling to helping, you'll hop on video and you'll tell someone about your butter right away, because you're like, you need my butter. Like, your skin looks good, but it'll look better with the butter that I have, so you feel like you're actually helping these people and you're helping everyone. So it kind of, it takes away from feeling like, oh, like I gotta sell, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. It's not necessarily what you're doing. You're helping, you're offering help, you're you're educating someone about the product, or educating someone about how their skin could be better. So it's kind of just switching the mindset from helping, or from sales to helping. And I promise you, you'll easily tell people about your product anytime.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of the essence of my pitching method too, is it turns your like buy my stuff into a newsworthy angle that's relevant, right? That people care
Mm-hmm.
about. And that's kind of what you learned as well, obviously, since joining the PR starter pack, because you've been working in ads and you kind of understand the power of organic PR. So that leads me to my next
Mm-hmm.
question is like, you've done paid ads, you've done video ads, you've done organic video, and you've also done pitching. So where would you rank like PR and like pitching yourself to like, a publication that can reach more people? Like, how does that stack up in kind of the value ladder of when you think about your business or content strategy?
Yeah, I think it is very important. It kind of like having children. You don't want to say one's important, more important than the other. I think they're all very, very even. I do think people should not overlook PR and not even get into it. I've done ads for the last 5 years, right? I got very, very savvy with Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and it's great. But the biggest thing with ads is when your ad pops up on someone's feed, it's coming from your account, right? So they see your account, you're talking about yourself. Maybe it's a video, maybe it's a picture or a post, whatever it is. You're talking about your own product. When it comes to PR, it's on someone else's platform, right? Someone else is talking about your product. Someone else is talking about how great you are and how great your product is and your entrepreneurial journey and whatever else it is. So it kind of builds like a lot of people wait to see, or they use other people's actions to confirm theirs. So if they see that someone else is talking great about you, they'll be more likely to also talk great about you. And they see that other people are buying your product, they'll be more likely to buy your product as well. And you could always put testimonials or anything like that on your own platform, but it's still on your platform. So having PR, having, your graces come from another source is second to none. Like it helps out a ton. And that's why I myself was like, I need to dip into PR and get my stuff out there, because everything's on my own platform. Everything's kind of me tooting my own horn, it's kind of better to have it come from another source, because then it shows people that you're actually the real deal and you're actually, credible. So it's definitely up there. I don't want to say what order it is, but it's definitely up there for sure.
Well, you definitely are the real deal. You've mastered, the art of video and going from 0 to 1 million views within a year. So obviously now you're dipping into PR. Like, what are some of the results that you've had? Because I know you have a very successful business that you also run. So like, what has that done for you?
Yeah. So I want to say I started this PR journey maybe 2 months ago, 2 or 3 months ago. And so it's been great. So I actually did have a one-on-one session with Gloria. Everyone that's listening right now, I did take this one-on-one session and we went through a pitch session, and I used the same exact methods that she taught me to get myself featured 3 times already. One of them was for my business. We did actually shoot a short film. It was for Halloween. If anyone wants to check it out, it's on my Instagram account. We made a short Halloween film, and before it went out, I wanted to make sure we had some posts about it and some PR about it. So I used the same exact method that Gloria taught me, and I pitched to one of the biggest media outlets here in my city. And the next day, they got it up right away. So it's been great. It got me more followers. It got more attention on my account. The other 2 publications that I did get into, one was more of a bio. The other one was the exact pitch that me and Gloria made together. And they both helped. I've gotten people to DM me. I've gotten people to follow me. And that's kind of the goal of it all, is to reach more people and reach more eyes.
And I think it's so interesting because you actually used a video that you made using your 3 E's method. And then you
Mm-hmm.
use that as a way to pitch. So I see this. I think a lot of people see parts of their business and content in different silos, right? There's marketing and then there's PR. But the more you're able to make it work for you, because it's holistic, it's living, thriving, and they all kind of feed into each other, which is exactly what you did. You were able to use video, which you create anyways, to pitch and
Mm-hmm.
get PR. So for everyone that's listening, I really encourage you to think about how your content can work for you, not in silos, but in this like holistic, this wheel that it all has their own parts to play, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Definitely.
So tell us, like, for the people who are watching, you gave so many pointers about your, like, 3 E's method, the, fact that you don't need to be following what all the other gurus are saying about hacking the algorithm and posting 3 times a day and all that stuff. So many gems. How can people get into your world, and how can you help them? How can they follow you and see some of these amazing videos that you've created?
Absolutely. So for one, my Instagram account is the home of all of my videos. So feel free to hop on Instagram and shoot me a follow or a DM. It's at I am Spiffy. There's an underscore at the end. And just say what's up. Feel free to just DM me if you got any questions about video, what you should do, or advice. Feel free to just shoot me a message. I will respond as quickly as I can. My other platform that I have a lot of my media on is my nightlife media platform called Newport Nightlife. It's just at Newport_Nightlife. There is where you'll see a lot of the 3 E's being used to sell without necessarily coming off as a salesperson or a salesman or whatever it is, or woman. It just kind of slips it in there and it's, hey, I have something for you. So those 2 platforms. I also do have a direct link. It's contact.spiffy, SPIFFY, Darko, DARKO.com. You'll be able to just go on there and then there'll be a short bio about me and you'll be able to contact me that way too.
So one thing, and by the way, for those who's listening, he's not prepared for this, but what if we had people actually DM you their video using your 3 E's method? And then you can kind of tell them like if they're on the right track or not. And can you remind everyone again about your 3 E's method, just real quick?
Yeah, definitely. And I would love that. So emotion, experience, entertainment. So evoke their emotion, give them an experience as if they're there with you, and entertain them in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, DMs are open. Feel free to send me your video and I'll keep it as 100 as possible with you. I will let you know exactly what I think of it. And I'll give you pointers on what to tweak for sure. So feel free to just DM that video. If it's too big, you can email it to me at spiffyent@gmail.com. And I'll be able to check it out and I'll give you my pointers for sure, free of charge.
That's amazing, y'all. That is amazing that you've offered this to us. So thank you so much for sharing with us your 3 E's method of how you were able to hack the algorithm and go from 0 to millions of views, and to tell us what maybe isn't working anymore that the other internet gurus are telling us to do. So you've given us so many gems. Everyone, give him a follow, and please, please, please DM him with your video using the 3 E's method. And that's your stage, right? That's your way to practice. Practice makes perfect. So this is your chance to get your video right. And with that, thank you all so much for listening. And until